What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Recher Reacts. I am your host, Jay Recher. Hope everybody is having a wonderful Thursday night, whether you're here in the Tampa Bay area or abroad. Make sure you follow me on all social media platforms. You see it right here: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. I'm on TikTok. I'm everywhere. So please make sure you follow me on all of those social media platforms and like and subscribe on the YouTube channel as well. If you're watching on YouTube or somebody else, or if you're watching on Facebook, if you're watching on Twitter, make sure you head on over to YouTube because that's probably the best way we can have a conversation tonight. Plenty to get into on the program. Is Chris Godwin one of the best receivers in the world? We're going to play some comments from the one and only Mike Evans from earlier today over at the Advent Health Training Center at One Buccaneer Place. And we're going to see and we're going to break it all down. We're going to take a deep dive on if Chris Godwin really is one of the best receivers in the world, at least since he's come into the league back in 2017. Next up, Shohei Ohtani, and just an absolutely incredible performance, a historic performance today down in South Florida, creating the 50-50 club. Hell, he's in the 51-51 club now. And I'll take you through my experience with that and what happened today as that news broke. Like, just amazing, amazing that we are witnessing this. And yeah, just one of a kind. One of a kind. We'll never see anybody like Shohei Ohtani ever again. Also, Thursday night football there at MetLife between the Jets and the Patriots. What to make of Aaron Rodgers and this New York Jets team? I think they could be better than what some people are leading on. And Rodgers and the Jets are kind of one of those teams where people don't want to admit that they could be good because they have a dislike, because they have a distaste for a guy like Aaron Rodgers. But reality shows that they might actually be a contender there in the AFC East. And then finally, showing some love to the real OG, the one and only Lightning insider, Erik Erlendsson. I've been really over the last couple of days trying to spread more good vibes on social media. I started doing this thing on Twitter called Friend of the Day. I've done it years ago on Facebook where you just highlight one of your pals and say some nice things about them. There's just so much just crap on social media, especially now during election season where everything's a gotcha moment. Everybody's trying to cancel everybody. Let's like permeate and break through all that bullshit and try to spread some good vibes. Why not, right? You only live once. Let's try to spread the good vibes amongst us all. Okay, so let's start with the conversation that was had today, or the statement that was made today over at the Advent Health Training Center at One Buccaneer Place. And that was from one Mike Evans. And listen, I am a huge fan of Mike Evans on and off the field. And him getting up there, he's always got something good to say. And listen, his word carries a lot of weight because he's a true pro. He's a true pros pro on and off the field, and he's going to be a Hall of Famer one day. And I think when comments are made, and this is with the rise of like podcasts and things like that, there's a lot of fans, and you wonder if some of these statements that are made, like, is it unbiased? And he made this comment today, and I wanted to play it for you guys, courtesy of our friends over at Pewter Report. And here's what Mike had to say about his pal, Chris Godwin.
Best receivers in the world. I'm glad that we have him. I've been seeing him work since he's been a rookie. I mean, he's a do-it-all guy, unselfish, can block, can do everything, run after catches.
So there you go. That's Mike Evans on his pal, Chris Godwin, saying he's one of the best receivers in the world. So is Chris Godwin one of the best receivers in the world? We know here in the Tampa Bay area what he brings to the table. Great route runner, incredible hands. Um, he's tough as nails. He's not afraid to block. Another guy that's a pro's pro, just like Mike Evans. But is he one of the best receivers in the world? I I, I really was wondering that because being here in the Tampa Bay area, it's easy to just be like, yeah, of course he is. But sometimes you wonder if you're a little bit too close to the forest to see the trees. Like, are we really being objective? Are we really taking our, Tampa Bay hats on and being real and keeping it 100 with this one? So what I decided to do is look into it. Look at some of the stats from 2017 until now, and this includes the two games this year. And here is what I found out. And here is some of the research that, uh, here are some of the stats that I uncovered. Number one, Chris Godwin has 544 catches since 2017. Good for eighth, which is ironically enough 12 more than his buddy Mike Evans, who is in ninth place. Chris Godwin has 6,890 yards, which is good for ninth in the National Football League in that time. He has 354 first downs, which is seventh. And this is the big stat that really jumped out to me. He has a 59.6% success rate, which is eighth in the league during that time period. And success rate is getting 40% of the yards to gain on first down, 60% of the yards on second, and then 100% of the yards on third and fourth down. Meaning, when you need to get the ball down the field, this guy is going to come down with it and he is going to fight and get those tough yards and convert. That 59%, that 59.6% success rate is higher than Justin Jefferson, higher than Cooper Kupp, higher than Stephon Diggs, higher than Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. Don't forget, in a down year last year, he still had 83 catches and over 1,000 yards. He already has as many touchdowns this year as he did last year. So he could be on his way to having a career year this year. So when you look at some of those statistics, the catches, the yards, the first downs, the success rate, all in the top 10. So looking and judging by those numbers, I agree wholeheartedly with Mike Evans. Chris Godwin is one of the best receivers in the world. And how lucky are we here in the Tampa Bay area to have Mike Evans and Chris Godwin on the same team doing their thing? Mike Evans, over that time period, third most touchdowns was 69. Some incredible numbers for number 13. But number 14, Chris Godwin, a guy that I think he still has some of his best years in front of him. Definitely one of the best receivers in the league. And I'm glad I kind of looked into it because I was worried, like, are we being biased? Are we wearing those red and pewter glasses? Are we judging him maybe a little bit, or are we grading him in a way where we're favoring him because of, we know him. We know the guy. We know what he does, all the little things. We know, but the numbers back it up. The numbers back it up. He is one of the best receivers in the game. And oh yeah, you add to that he's a great route runner. He's got phenomenal hands. He's not afraid to block and stick his nose in there and do all the dirty things. And he's a pro's pro. On the field, off the field, in the community, Chris Godwin is one of the best players on the field, but one of the best human beings off of it. So, Mike Evans, I tip my hat to you, man. You are not biased. You are spot on. Number 14, one of the best around. All right. Feel free to questions, comments, concerns, leave them there at the bottom of the screen as we continue to have these conversations here on Recher Reacts. Going to try to do this pretty much every single night here on Facebook Live, on YouTube, on Twitter. Just trying to spread the word, man. Continuously talking about some of the great things in sports. Can't wait for the Bucs game on Sunday, 1:00 kickoff at Raymond James Stadium against the Denver Broncos. Before that, USF in Miami, Saturday night at 7:00 at Ray J. It's going to be nuts. And tomorrow's show, we will preview that game, USF and Miami, right here on Recher React. So you do not want to miss that one. It's going to be a great weekend of football. I cannot wait. All right. Next thing up, Shohei Ohtani creates the 50-50 club. 50 home runs, 50 stolen bases in one season. The first ever MLB player to do so. Just absolutely incredible. And I was so lucky today when I got home from work. I turned on the TV right as he stepped to the plate to hit number 50. Oppo Taco, soft shell. History was made. And shout out to Marlins manager Skip Schumacher. He could have put him on, but he said, screw that. Screw that. The baseball gods, everybody's looking at that. Skip's a throwback. Love it. Love that. You're down by a bunch. Pitch to the guy. Try to get him out. That's what baseball's all about. Not for this, putting up the 4 like Garrett Cole did in a freaking scoreless game last week, walking Rafael Devers. That's not what baseball's all about. Mano y mano. Step up there and try to get the guy out. He hits a home run like that, you tip your hat and you move on. You weren't winning that freaking game anyway. But Shohei Ohtani, the phenom, 50 home runs, 50 stolen bases. And it's not just that he achieved that milestone, it's how he achieved that milestone. He did it in a Dodgers 20-4 win over the Miami Marlins. Shohei batting leadoff, 6 for 6 with 3 home runs and 10 RBIs. Are you freaking kidding me? He's like a creative player. Remember when you created players on MLB The Show and your guy, you'd win games like this against some of the worst teams, and your creative player was 5 for 5 with 3 jacks or something like that? That's what Shohei Ohtani is. He is a creative player. 6 for 6, 3 home runs, 10 RBIs, 2 stolen bases, 4 runs scored. He was a triple shy of the cycle. So it's 2 singles, 2 doubles, 2 home runs. I mean, it's just insane. It is incredible to see him do his thing, and he's not even pitching yet. Wait till he pitches next year. Never know. Maybe you see him in the postseason, but just keep him hitting. Keep let him do his thing there. But wow, Shohei Ohtani, this is the kind of athlete, this is the kind of player where 20, 30, 40 years from now, your family members, your younger family members are going to ask you about him. How good was Shohei Ohtani? How good was Shohei Ohtani? And you're going to remember days like today. You're going to say, hey, on a slower day in sports when Thursday night football hasn't happened yet, and in the middle of the afternoon down in South Florida, I remember when he hit home runs number 49 and 50, or 49, 50, and 51. Wow. We are blessed to be alive during the time that Shohei Ohtani has stepped up to the plate here in the big league. So look at the success they had the World Baseball Classic this year, and now winning that game today for the Dodgers, pretty much single handedly. I mean, I say 10 RBIs. That was half the RBIs the team had. He will be going to the postseason for the first time. So in that lineup with Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman, let's see if he can carry that over to next year. Shout out to our guy Alan Crow asking a really good question on Facebook. Can he do it again while pitching next season? That's a great point, Alan. The big thing with Shohei is that we know he's not going to play the field at all, so he's going to get that rest, but he's going to have a much stricter regimen as far as he's not going to be in the cage all the time. He's going to have to get some of his throwing in. He's probably going to have to do a little bit more running. And then, of course, the taxing of him pitching every fifth day. Will he ever do this again? I don't. It's hard to say no. It's hard to say that he won't do it because this guy just defies logic. So, do I think he will? No, Alan. But I think is it out of the realm of possibility that he's going to be a 40-40 guy? No, I think we could see multiple 40-40 seasons from him. And as impressive as the 50 home run seasons are, the conversation that was had on MLB Network after he hit number 50 with Greg Amsinger, Harold Reynolds, and Pedro Martinez was such a fantastic one. Of Harold Reynolds bringing up the point of, you know how hard it is to steal bases and how taxing it is on your body? You're sliding head first, you're sliding feet first, like over and over and over and over and over again. And the ability for him to stay healthy through this time and to be able to not let the pressure get to him, that monster contract that he signed in the offseason, dealing with all the things with his translator and all the money, like this guy, it's just like water off the back of a duck. It doesn't phase him. So Alan, I don't know if he'll do 50-50 next year, but my friend, I am not betting against him. What a year for Shohei Ohtani again. You'll always remember this season. Okay, next up, Thursday night football tonight there at MetLife Stadium between the Jets and the Patriots. And I've seen a couple people say this already on social media that it wasn't the most like entertaining game and it was a little dull. And I don't disagree with that. It was, unless you were a Jets or a Patriots fan, which if you're watching my guy Jake Asman and Nick Cattles from the Jets and the Patriots side, respectively, those guys were having a lot of fun. I was having a lot of fun watching them shoot the breeze back and forth with each other. But to me, this was one of those methodical wins that a veteran quarterback has throughout the entire season. When you see a guy like Aaron Rodgers pick apart that New England defense and just know that man to man, they're a more talented team. It was about making sure that you win the turnover battle, making sure that you're not committing stupid penalties, and just getting into the red zone. scoring some touchdowns, spreading the ball around, kicking it when you got to kick it. And that's what we saw tonight. This was the best game Aaron Rodgers has had in the New York Jets uniform. 27 to 35 for 281 and two touchdowns. He even ran for 18 yards. But good to see Breece Hall find his way into the end zone, and those two touchdowns to Allen Lazard and Garrett Wilson. Neither one of those guys, nor Mike Williams, were the top receiver tonight. It was actually tight end Tyler Conklin, 5 catches for 93 yards. And what's kind of scary if you're a Jets hater or you're preying on the downfall of Aaron Rodgers and gangrene is that they still didn't play their cleanest game. Garrett Wilson only 5 catches for 33 yards. He did have the touchdown, but 5 catches on 9 targets. They were still off a little bit. Aaron Rodgers and Garrett Wilson. That offense still isn't clicking on all cylinders. It's good enough. They're 2-1 after 3 games. But watch out for the Jets because I still think there's a lot of room to improve. And look at that defense. I know it sucked to see Jermaine Johnson go down, but you look at a guy like Will McDonald after 3 sacks. We have 1, 3, 2. He's got 6 on the season now. This guy's a beast. This kid out of Iowa State, Will McDonald out of Iowa State, the 15th overall pick in 2023. He is really coming to his own. All right, so we had 2 against New England, none in the game against San Francisco. I know we had 3 against Tennessee. So 5 sacks now on the season for Will McDonald. He is more than making up for Jermaine Johnson's absence. So a shout out to a guy like Will McDonald. And of course, you have a guy like Quinnen Williams there as well, one of the best D tackles in the league. There's a lot of good players on that defense. We know Quincy Williams, Sauce Gardner, Tony Adams, I thought played a pretty good game. And then you're getting half sacks from Solomon Thomas and Tack McKinley, a couple of veterans there. Chuck Clark pitched in with one wide open. Man, nobody was guarding him. Javon Kinlaw, former first-round pick himself, 7 total sacks tonight for the New York Jets. If I am a team or if I am a fan of a team in the AFC, I would be concerned about this New York Jets club. Aaron Rodgers still isn't 100% in sync with his guys, and they're 2-1. They're 2-1, and you still have the capabilities of his connection with Mike Williams and Garrett Wilson to grow. And I love the tandem of Breece Hall and Braylon Allen. You could argue that they have the best running back tandem in the league. Braylon Allen is a big son of a bitch, man. He is hard to bring down. That is a tough young man. And if you followed him at Wisconsin, and the guy that owns the barbershop that I go to, huge Wisconsin fan. So I've been on the Braylon Allen train for years now. And he's still the youngest kid in the National Football League. He is a problem. So for all the Jets haters out there, I feel bad for you because this team is on its way to being good. Will they be great? Will they be a Super Bowl contender? We shall see. But you can see the pieces coming together. Rodgers, Allen, and Hall, who I'll say again, could be the best running back tandem in the game. And then Tyler Conklin, who's really rising to the occasion at the tight end spot. Lazard, the rapport with Rodgers. Mike Williams is that deep threat. And yeah, Garrett Wilson, one of the best young receivers in the game. Those guys are going to work it out. He still had he didn't have a great game today. He still had a touchdown. And then the defense. Right now, led by a guy like Will McDonald, who is just all over the place. 5 sacks already in 3 weeks. You have arguably the best corner in football with Sauce Gardner, Quincy Williams, one of the most underrated linebackers in the game, and just a slew of players that are making plays for Robert Saleh's defense. And then, let's not forget special teams too. People never really want to throw in special teams and don't want to talk about it until something goes wrong. But you got Greg Zuerlein, who's been around for a very long time. And then Thomas Morstead, the longtime punter of the New Orleans Saints. So those guys aren't going to, make boneheaded mistakes in crunch time. Like they know what it takes to be successful. And I know Greg missed a field goal against the Patriots, but at the end of the day, you know what you're getting from him. So watch out for this Jets team. Again, you may be preying on their downfall, but I think they're on their way to being a really, really good team. So AFC teams and fans of AFC teams, beware because gangrene is coming. All right, last but certainly not least, and again, or hold on, real quick, let me get to these. Sorry, I didn't see this. Shout out to Thaw T Hall 345 J Retro Rocks. Appreciate you, Jordan. How'd you think Drake did? To me, he looked panicked in the pocket. Of course, it is only his first start, but looked very sloppy in terms of looking to get sacked rather than actually throw the ball. Jordan, I'm with you, man. And it was kind of crazy because it looked like the times that he handed off the football, he was very happy. He did not look comfortable in the pocket at all. And I don't think it was a really great idea because of putting him in the game. Because, and my guy Nick Cattles from up there, he tweeted this out. Why would you put him behind this O line right now? You have two rookies and some dude who was just called up from the practice squad at left guard. Why not just have Brissett hand the ball off and call it a day? Risk reward is way too high the way that this game has gone tonight. I couldn't agree with Nick more. It wasn't worth it. You're playing against a team that is doing a great job of rushing the passer. They had 7 sacks tonight. Why put that kid in harm's way? I don't think that was a great idea at all. And he did not look great. And this is something that Gerard Mayo, as a rookie head coach, is going to have to learn from. A veteran head coach, is he going to make that decision? Probably not. That was not a good call. The last thing you want to happen is that kid's confidence to be shaken, or at the very worst, him getting banged up, getting hurt, getting injured. So I don't think he looked good at all tonight. Part of that has to do with the offensive line. The other part has to do with how good the defense was for the Jets tonight. But I think that was a mistake by Gerard Mayo getting him in that game. All right, last thing we're going to talk about on the show today, and I just want to show some love to my guy, Erik Erlendsson from lightninginsider.com. Erik is a guy that's been covering the Tampa Bay Lightning for years. He is the one voice of the Tampa Bay Lightning, or the eyes and ears of this team. He's covered more games I probably out of anybody that has ever covered the Tampa Bay Lightning. And lightninginsider.com is something that, excuse me, he started up after, unfortunately, the Tampa Tribune shut down. And it's tough, man. It's tough when you go independent like that. So you're really, you're relying on the fans in that area and big time hockey lovers to kind of, keep you in the game. And I can't tell you guys how much Erik Erlendsson has helped me out in covering not just the Lightning, but all sports. He's become a really good friend of mine. We have him on every week on Jay and Zach. We had him on today. It'll be every Thursday at 12:30. And you can use the promo code JNZ, the letters JNZ, to get 10% off, not just this year, but every recurring season. But I think it breaks down to like $333 a month or something like that. You want to help out one of the good guys in the Tampa Bay area. Erik Erlendsson is certainly one of those. So please, if you're a Lightning fan, or if you want to gift somebody a subscription for their birthday or the holidays or something, go to lightninginsider.com. Subscribe today. Again, use that promo code JNZ and get the percentages off. But these are the kind of people that you want to help. You worry sometimes about when you donate money, like where it goes to, and you wonder if am I really spending my money smartly? This is a smart way to spend your money, and you're helping somebody that has really given a lot to our Lightning community. So please, if you are a Lightning fan, if you are a member of Bolts Nation, if you're looking for an idea for somebody's birthday present or a Christmas gift, a subscription to lightninginsider.com is certainly something for, the real Lightning fan out there. So again, lightninginsider.com, use that promo code JNZ and get 10% off, not just this year, but every recurring season. All right, guys, make sure you follow me again on all social media platforms right here. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. I am everywhere. And also, like and subscribe on YouTube. Every subscription helps. We're going to try to continue to grow this thing. We got close to 20 episodes or something. I got to go back and count. But we have the J Retro podcast coming soon, where I'm interviewing some of the biggest names on the Tampa Bay sports scene. So can't wait for that. And of course, Recher's Rapid Reaction that comes to you on all social media platforms right after the game is over. You're going to get two this weekend, one from Raymond James Stadium after USF takes on Miami, and then Sunday after the Bucks take on the Broncos. So make sure you follow me on all social media platforms because I'm going to do my best to put my best foot forward and get you as much information as possible about the sports here in Tampa Bay. I love you all. I appreciate you guys. Happy Thursday night. Go get some sleep. But again, share this on your social media platforms. Let's grow this thing and be a powerhouse on social media. Love you all. We'll see you tomorrow night. We're going to do SmackDown review and also a preview of Miami and USF that's coming Saturday night. All right, that wraps it up for me. We'll see you. We'll see you guys next time right here on Recher Reacts. Peace out.